Well, we're back again after a 3-month time off. I kind of broke my wrist and a couple of fingers. My dog decided to play jump rope with me and I wasn't ready. And so I kind of bit the concrete. So tonight we're going to be doing hobo meals, back like in the Depression era time, and pretty easy ingredients. And well, with that said, I guess we will get going on that. And I got these little itty bitty potatoes out of the root cellar. They were still good. And so I'm just going to cut these in quarters that will make them cook a little bit easier. And then we're going to wrap these up in aluminum foil. And if I was outside, you could cook them on the grill over a fire pit or just put them on the coals, or the easy way, slide them in the oven. That will work. And we're going to use potatoes, carrots, onions, green peppers, and and real carrots. And you can use actually whatever you want. Tonight I'm just going to use hamburger, but you could use chicken and stew meat, or chunks of pork. And all of that will work very well. And I'm cutting the carrots down in size so they cook in a reasonable time. And the bigger ones, I'm quartering them. And so after I get all these cut up, I will start the assembly process. And this is the easy part. You want to use heavy-duty aluminum foil. And you want to make them, it's going to take 2 per packet. And make them the same, try to make each of them the same size. And that's the easy part right there. And so then we got our famous hamburger, Fairway's very own ground hamburger. And we will make a couple patties. And I kind of roll them in a ball so it kind of puts them a little tight and so they don't fall apart. And a trick I do is I just use the plastic what comes with it. And then I put the plastic on top and on bottom of the hamburger and push down, and it gives you a nice patty wedge, if that's a word. And I will do that. I will get rid of them. So to start off, I just got it set down here on the aluminum foil. You want to kind of put it in the center of the aluminum foil. I need a bigger work area. Now comes the arranging of it all. And I will start with the potatoes. I got the potatoes and the carrots in ice water so they don't brown up on me. And then I do just a single layer with the potatoes around the hamburger. Make it look like a wagon wheel. And I also season the hamburger. I forgot, but I will go back and I lost my towel.
You're a little rusty.
Yes. So I'm going to season up the the burger with basil and thyme with some garlic. And you can use actually whatever you want. And I'll flip them over. So I forgot to season them, pre-season. And so I just mixed everything up in a little container. And I put the seasoning on pretty thick. And then the carrots, you don't have to use carrots, but I like carrots, so I use carrots. And you arrange them on a single layer on the aluminum foil. It's very colorful. And then next, I will put some onion. I already had them pre-cut up. So I will put some onions around, some on top of the hamburger to help flavor that. And I had some green peppers, so I decided, why not? Let's add a little more color and green. So we can add some green pepper, and this is how easy these are to make. And there is that. And so to help with the vegetables, butter is always a good thing to use. So I will add a little stick of butter to each one. And then the secret ingredient, what makes this really work, it's going to shock you, but it's an ice cube. And you are going, an ice cube? Dan, you lost your marbles. Well, you need some moisture in there to help cook the potatoes and carrots. And if you pour water in there, it just runs right out. So use an ice cube. And of course, that will melt once it hits the heat, and that will give you your moisture for steam to cook your veggies. So then when you have that done, and the ice cube is important. So then when you have that done, you just take your other sheet, you go over top of your foil, and then you kind of turn in the edge of both sheets and then press down on it, and then it makes a seal. I'll do it on this side, then you can see it better. I line up the long edge and I fold it up and fold it over, and I do it again, and I get on the end, and I fold that over a couple times, go on the other end, fold that over a couple times, then I go back again and fold the first two over, and then right there you got your packet for your Hobo meals, and everything's in one good little container. I'm going to shrink that a little bit, and then this here is ready to go in the oven. So I will do this one, and see, these are really easy and simple to make. Prep time's about 20 minutes to cut up your veggies or potatoes. And I have the oven preheated at 350. And so it'll be ready to go in. Like that. And then these here, both these here are ready to go in the oven. Ooh, I should grab a pot holder. And you can set these right on the racks of the oven. and pop them in the oven for 20-25 minutes. And then when them are done, it'll be ready to do. And another item, I'm throwing an extra in. I got another item. What they used was is they would make salads out of whatever they had. And springtime of the year, they used dandelion stems. So we're going to make a dandelion salad. And so I pre-cooked up some side pork or bacon, and I got that nice and crispy brown. And I took the bacon grease.
They didn't have microwaves during the Great Depression.
Yeah, they didn't have microwaves, but I ran out of wood for the wood stove, so I had to use a microwave. I got the bacon grease heating up. I got the bacon grease getting heated up again. And so to that, one gramming spoon, I'm going to add to the bacon grease, I'm going to add some brown sugar to give it a little sweetness. And then when the bacon grease is done, and then usually you add a little bit more oil to the bacon grease, corn oil or vegetable oil, equal parts of bacon grease and then of the oil. Oh yeah. She is hot. So I got the bacon grease hot, and I'm going to add a couple tablespoons of brown sugar to it. And then I'm going to mix that up till it dissolves. I know some of you are probably still stuck on, I can't believe he used an ice cube. The first time I saw that done, Steve Pilcher, friend of mine, Steve was cooking trout and he in aluminum foil, and he put 3 ice cubes in the tummy of each trout. And I go, "What are you doing?" And he says, "Well, this is to add moisture." And it worked. So I got that from him. So then on the salad, you just take your melted bacon grease and you dump that in, and the brown sugar will dissolve, supposedly. I should have put it on the stove and cooked it a little bit more. Let's get me another spoon, Elizabeth. Then all you do is you mix up your dandelion stems, dandelion greens, and that gives you wilted lettuce, which is really good. When leaf lettuce is fresh in the spring, we do this a lot. So that there will be your lettuce salad to go with your meal. And next, we will, we'll save the bacon here on a plate. So now we will get out our hobo meal with the magic of ovens.
Magic of television.
Yes. Oh, they smell yummy. Yes. Should have grabbed this batch. Didn't think about these things being hot.
Still getting used to this kitchen.
Yes. And so this here will be the finished product of the meal.
It smells good.
Yeah. Yes, it does. They're really hot. That's not dry ice making that steam. Okay. Then there is the finished product with its own juice from that ice cube and the butter. And right there is the end product of the Hobo meal. And then to go along with that, we will throw on some of that awesome salad of dandelions. And then we will add some of that crispy bacon to the top. And there you go, you got your dandelion green salad. And should we do questions?
We can do
Okay.
questions now.
Is there any questions on anything?
Looks like somebody said that your cousin Jan from Tennessee is watching tonight. That's not a
Okay.
question, but now you know.
Yes. Well, hello, Tennessee. Oh, hi, Jan. Yes, so that is the Hobo meal with a side salad. And
Dan, if you were, like, I know people make these when they go camping. Could you make them early and take them with you, or are they best to assemble right away?
no, if you got refrigerator or ice chest, you can make these at home, pre-assemble them, but use the heavyweight aluminum foil or double the aluminum foil what you have, and that will work.
How large are the meat patties?
These here are about a third pound. And I got 2 pounds. I forgot what I got. I got 2 pounds of hamburger, and I made six meals out of this with 10 potatoes and 4 carrots, 1 medium onion, and 1 really big green pepper. And I used just half of the green pepper.
You could add mushrooms in there. That's
Yes.
what I would like to add.
Yes, you can add mushrooms or any other turnips or zucchini. Cut them in big chunks though, so they don't turn mush. And other,
Would you season it the same if you had chicken or something in there?
oh, I probably would, because I got like 6, 7 seasonings, and that's all I ever use. But I never used my Creole seasoning this time, which is a shocker. And yeah, you can use chicken, stew meat, steak. But hamburger just cooks up really, really good on it. So any other questions from the audience?
Where did you get the dandelion greens?
At Friendly Fairway. Actually, they are called spring greens. And I just stated that they were actually dandelion greens because, well, it's supposed to be from the Depression era.
What are your 7 seasonings you say you always use? What are they?
Garlic, thyme, rosemary, basil, salt and pepper. Yep, and like Creole seasoning and seasoning salt. Well, I use that Mrs. Dash, not the seasoning salt, but Mrs. Dash, the salt-free. It's the table setting one. And that has a lot of good flavors in it. And then there's another seasoning out there. Can I show that?
Yeah.
Okay. And I found this, and it's there's multiple seasonings in it.
It says complete seasoning, Sazon Completa. Where did you find that, Dan?
I found this at Fairway. And that's very good and very low sodium. So that's why I like it too.
Are there any other questions for Dan before we get to Lizzie?
Oh, I suppose. I forgot to do the most important part.
Yeah, we're really pulling your leg to do that.
Yes. It's not a fork, it was a spoon.
How's it taste?
Oh, it tastes marvelous. And the potatoes are very tender and the carrots are tender. Onions are good. The green peppers are awesome. So that will be my part tonight.
All right.
Now Elizabeth will jump in and she will take over the show. And thank you for tuning in tonight, but I'll be back before we're all done. I gotta get my back again.
A brief intermission here.
Yes. Here. We have to clean up my mess so Elizabeth can make the mess.
I came prepared today.
Is this yours?
Yes.
Is that in the fridge?
Okay. Hello, everybody. It's Dan Lake Jr. back to baking. I think we should just start a segment called Lizzie Bakes Things and just wings it. That's what I do. So I'm going to be doing 2 different desserts tonight from the Depression era. Both the desserts come from like staple pantry items, not necessarily what they would have on hand right away, but something that we would have on hand today. So for the first one, I'm just going to be doing a 3-ingredient peanut butter cookie. If you watch any of my previous videos, I'm a peanut butter fanatic. I promise I measured my peanut butter tonight, so it's not going to be like overload for the taste testers here tonight. So for the peanut butter cookies, you're going to have a cup of peanut butter. You're going to have a cup of granulated sugar. That's going to explode. I'm making that later. And then my beautiful wrapping. Get it from Wrapping Christmas Ornaments every year. An egg. So while I do that, I'm going to heat the peanut butter up in our modern day campfire to make it a little bit easier to mix. I hope this doesn't explode. It's very full.
Lizzie, are you using natural peanut butter or regular peanut butter?
Yes. So you can use any type of peanut butter for this recipe. I personally use what I have on hand. It's natural Skippy peanut butter. You can use Jiffy, you can use organic. I would say that like alternative nut butters I feel would work. The consistency might be a little bit off just because due to nut butter and the sugar like correlating each other. But I'm using natural Skippy. You can also use chunky peanut butter if you want to have it a little chunky as well. Oh, I'm going to open this. So this is my overloaded cup of sugar. I measured it and it didn't fit, but we made it work anyways. This is my cup of sugar and pour it in my bowl. Beautiful. I'm not sponsored by Fairway. I'm sponsored by Target because. Alrighty. Our egg. might get the eggs at Dad's house.
So it's 1 cup of sugar, 1 cup of peanut butter, and 1 egg.
Yes.
Easy to remember.
Yep. And so then I'm just gonna go ahead and I'm just gonna use my spoon to break the yolk and just mix it together. Using the whisk, it just gets really clumpy and it bothers me. So I'm just gonna go ahead and do that. You can also use a hand mixer for this, but I don't think they had those back in the day. Maybe the crank ones, maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
I learned about that in school. And then we're just gonna take your cup of peanut butter. Oh, I didn't melt it enough. It's fine. I'm strong. Okay, then you just take your cup of peanut butter and then you're just gonna kind of mix it all up. I'm gonna mix it up until there's nothing left in the bowl. It take a minute or two. Rather than like stirring around, I kind of like to scoop it. I like to scoop it and then kind of flatten it out just so like the sugars get all combined in there. Since this is a 3-ingredient cookie after all, there's no like melting or like really big binding agent. So then you'll mix it all together. It's gonna look a little bit grainy because there's granulated sugar in it. But once you bake them, they'll look better. Alrighty. So then after it's mixed together, it's going to be pretty thick. It's going to look like one big wad of peanut butter. It's basically what it is. So then next, I'm not baking them here, but I did plan ahead of time. I did a Dan Lake. I planned ahead of time and made them. So you're gonna take just your basic baking sheet and you can grease it. I like parchment paper. It prevents like less dishes and it's less of a mess. So I just go ahead. I'm just gonna lay it on here. Yeah. So you'll have this here. You'll take about a tablespoon or so of the mixture. I'm just gonna use a fork because I'm gonna eyeball it. Okay, so that's bigger than a tablespoon, but it's fine. This is just for show. So then you'll take it, just kind of like form it into a little ball, and then you'll plop it right on the parchment paper. Then you take that same, and then you'll take a fork. This is where it gets cool. You'll take the fork and you'll press it in one way. Oh, it worked. There you go. Boom. Then you do it again the next way. And then you get this cute little cookie. And then for the final masterpiece, you'll have a little cookie that looks like this.
So what do you bake it at? How long?
So you'll preheat your oven to 350 and then bake them for about 12 to 14 minutes until they're golden brown. The tip that I found with these cookies is if you're wanting like a crunchier hard cookie, you'll do what I just did and you'll just directly take the batter, form it, and bake it. If you're looking for a cookie that's a little bit more softer and definitely has that like soft center that a lot of us like, you'll want to put your batter in the fridge for about 3 to 4 hours. 1 hour works as well. That's what I did with these and they turned out pretty good. But just some tips since not everyone likes soft cookies.
Do you form them and then put them in the fridge, or you put the whole bowl in the fridge?
You can do either or. I like to just put the whole bowl in the fridge, but for rolling and flattening purposes, it might be better to do it like that. But I found that I don't have any issue. You're not freezing it. It's just throwing it in the refrigerator. I almost said microwave. Wow. My next dish. He made me work. I'm gonna make him work.
We're getting a 2-for-1 special from Lizzie tonight.
I just did not plan my ingredients accordingly. Cool. Okay, so then for our next Depression era baked good, it's going to be a chocolate cake that doesn't require very many ingredients. So you're going to start out with a 1.5 cups of flour, a cup of sugar, a 1/3 cup of unsweetened cocoa powder, half a teaspoon of salt, a full teaspoon of baking soda. And then for your wet ingredients, you're going to have a tablespoon of vinegar. You can use white vinegar, rice vinegar, apple cider. It's not going to make a difference. It's not going to alter the taste at all. You'll have a teaspoon of vanilla and then a cup of water and a 1/3 cup of oil. Oil, it also doesn't matter. I personally just have vegetable oil on hand. So take your bowl. I was always told to start with wet ingredients because I don't have 2 bowls. So we'll start out with our measuring cup. So you'll get your full cup of water and just pour it right there into the bowl. I have my 1/3 cup of oil already proportioned out. I don't have a measuring, but I do have this little spoon, so we're just going to call it good. So then you'll do your vanilla. And then I'm using distilled white vinegar. Like I said, you can use any vinegar you like, whatever you have on hand. Boom. Then I just like to give it a good little mix. So then for your dry ingredients, Beth got me the super cool salad container that I'm using tonight for baking purposes. You can find it on Amazon. It's pretty cool. It has multiple compartments. So for the first dry ingredient I'll be adding in 1.5 cups of flour. That's here in the bottom compartment. Let's go ahead and plop that in there. Go ahead and add your cup of sugar that I have in this upper compartment. So cool. So cool. Alrighty, I'll go ahead and add my 1/3 cup of unsweetened cocoa powder. I just have the generic brand. Any brand will do. And if it's not unsweetened, the more to you. I've just found that unsweetened just tastes better with it. And then I have my tablespoon of baking soda and my 1/2 teaspoon of salt. I'm just going to go ahead and put that in there. This recipe doesn't require any milk, any eggs, any butter. It's just simply, again, pantry items, staple pantry items. You'll go ahead and just whisk this all together. You'll just want to whisk it like you would any other cake until there's no lumps, and just ensure that you have everything picked up off the bottom so that there's like no flour or anything left, and sometimes that happens with bowls. So for this cake, you'll want to bake it again at 350 for this will be roughly about 35 minutes or so. I like to judge it still by how clean can you pull a toothpick out of the middle of it. That's a trick that Dad taught me, and it's just something that stuck with me in my 22 years of life. I'm getting old. Oh. Yeah, so you'll just mix it till it looks like the consistency of normal cake. Just kind of fall right off the whisk here. So then you'll go ahead and you'll take a 8x8 or a 9x9 pan. I found that these little disposable ones just work better for me since I am commuting. So I just take that and I just have generic canola cooking spray. So I just go ahead and spray all sides and the bottom down pretty well. And you just kind of scrape it all like you would any other. Oh, I'm gonna throw cake batter everywhere. It's okay though, it's fine. So then you'll just take it. Move it over. There we go. And just kind of dump it in. Impressed I haven't missed yet. Let's go ahead and dump it all in here. And I did not make frosting for this particular cake, but I did include a frosting recipe on my, or the frosting recipe for this cake on the sheet that I did give to Caitlin for when she is able to post the video. So it's pretty basic. It's gonna be cocoa powder, salt, and powdered sugar. I found this. It's a mix of like my own recipe and then like another recipe, just kind of basing off of what Google said for like, you know, Great Depression, like, you know, desserts and whatnot. It seemed to be that chocolate cake was an easy staple household item for birthdays during that hard time. And then if you were fortunate enough, there was the frosting to go with it. So then, I mean,
Lizzie, how long did you say you cooked this for?
roughly 35 minutes, 35 to 38. Again, I judge it like I would any other cake or like a box of brownies, toothpick in the center. I've just found that that's the best since all ovens are different. So yeah, you're just gonna have it layered out and be ready to go. And I pulled another Dan Lake and I cooked the head. When they say Dan Lake Jr., they mean Dan Lake Jr. So then in the end, you're gonna have voila. You're gonna have this beautiful chocolate cake. I think it smells good. My house smells like chocolate cake, and who can be mad about that? So, and then there's that. Yeah, that's all I have.
Does anyone have any questions for Lizzie? You can turn on your mic or you can put it in the chat box.
Hello, family that's watching. Hello.
All right. Anyone have any final questions for Dan? He's spoken around here too.
Good job, Dan and Lizzie.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Sue. And then a quick comment for any parents that are watching who have younger children. I would say probably back when I was in 3rd or 4th grade, I read a book called Saving Grace by Priscilla. I'm blanking on the last name right now, but her first name's Priscilla. If you're kind of wanting to get an insight of what the Great Depression was like through a child's point of view, it was years ago that I read that, and 10 plus years later, that book still stuck with me. So if any parents are watching this or their children are like, you know, learning about it in school or anything, I would definitely recommend checking that book out. It is a pretty older book, but I would assume that the public library would have that.